Hey y'all, welcome to Toadstead. And we just got a visit from FedEx. Let's get this open and take a peek. Alright, well this is what was in the box. I haven't spent a whole lot of time with the instructions. You can see those right here. And I just sort of slid them together according to what I could see. And first thing I'll say right off is this system is pretty impressive. Now Skyline Enterprises puts these out, and I first heard about these up in Pennsylvania and did a little bit of research and figured this might just solve the problem. When I was a kid, my home was an apartment building, and there was a very rudimentary version of this strung from the second floor porch of our apartment. And when I saw this, it brought back that memory, and I was like, wait a minute, this might solve the problem for not just laundry but some other ideas. So the bottom line is I gave the company a call, and the folks over at Skyline were pretty cool. They took the time, spend time talk with me, decide what I wanted to do, and based on where I want to put it and how it is, this was the rig they recommended. Now this is a 16-inch pulley. This is huge. It's much bigger than the one I saw, which I think had an 8-inch pulley. This is huge, but it is going over pretty close to a 90-foot span, which is why you can see in the background there we've got, right at 200 feet of cable. That's the pulley that goes at the far end, and this up here is the apparatus that goes at the business end where you actually load it. So, we just got it laid out. I've put it partially together, and next we'll give you an idea of where it's going to go. Okay, what you're looking at is the front of the Toad shop, and you can see this large tree in the foreground right here. And what I want to do is I want to stretch this clothesline from the tree all the way over to the corner of the shop. The washing machine is right there in that corner, and I think it'd be great to be able to step just right around the corner and start putting out the clothes right there. Now, for those of you who don't recognize what this is, it's a continuous line pulley system. So one pulley is attached to the building down there, and the other one is attached to this tree. So basically what you can do is you stand right about back where the back of the trailer is now, and you'll be able to put clothes on the line. And because the cable comes all the way to this tree, all the way back to that pulley in one continuous loop, you can basically put a shirt or a pair of pants or something on there, reach up, run the pulley a little bit, push the clothing away from you, and keep doing so until you load it all the way to the tree. Now, there's some things I remember from when I was a kid. If you put a bunch of blankets on it, the line would sag. Yeah, there was some issues with the old one, but Skyline, has a way to get around that. And as we put this up, I'll show you the reasons I went with Skyline, and I think it's going to be a pretty neat deal. And the lady here, she's not exactly the tallest person in the world, so we went ahead and added a separate piece, also made by Skyline, a separate system that's going to hopefully make it easier for she who's a little vertically challenged. Okay, now before we get started, just want to give you some initial impressions. I have never set one of these up. This is completely new to me. I understand how it works, but got to kind of look at, just like I said, just my first impressions. Some of the things I like. Ball bearing wheels. The wheel can lock. Makes it easier to keep things from moving around once you get them up there, because wet clothes are heavy. Materials wise, I like everything I see with two exceptions. I'm a little suspicious of the wheels being plastic. I knew that these parts were aluminum. I did not know that the wheels were some kind of a polymer. Jury's out on that. We are in the deep south. We get some pretty serious sunshine. So, gonna keep an eye on it. A lot of times plastic pretty much goes brittle pretty quick down here. So, we'll see about that. One thing that's not a debate is I'm almost positive that's polypropylene. Down here we call it polyethylene. The sunlight's going to eat that. Now that's not a big deal in most of the country, I suppose. Down here, that's a huge no-no. That's not going to stay. We'll definitely be watching that. I anticipate in less than a year, we'll use that line. It'll snap. Again, not a big deal. I'll probably replace it with something more from the sailing world. Maybe a small piece of Kevlar or whatnot. We're only talking about maybe 10 feet of line. So it's not a huge expense to replace it. But all the other parts, the welds that are on here, they look pretty good. The bar is galvanized. How this thing works will become more apparent as I put it up. And the instructions, you know, okay. They are what they are. I figured out how it went together pretty quick. It's kind of hard in the YouTube era to compare the written instructions to an instructional video, which are so many out there. Hey, for all I know, this might become an instructional video. But I will say that if somebody who's just basically okay with instructions can figure this out. This is not a complicated machine. Just got to take your time with it. So we got to get some fasteners, and we'll start putting this bugger up. Now, there we go. We got the business end of it attached to the side of the Toad shop here. And hopefully the wind's not giving us a hard time. We had to make a little bit of a modification to this. You can see where we cut the edge of the diamond off, because right under here, you can see it through this section here. This is where the 2x2 steel beam is. And then we get around the other side, I'll show you what we did to allow for this bolt. But we weren't able to put this in. Now, just so you know, these pieces are welded 3/16 inch steel. And just with the connectors that you see, they did the same thing at the top. I would have absolutely no problem doing chin-ups from this thing. I mean, it's solid as a rock. And we'll show you how this little gizmo here operates when we get the rest of it set up. But this is the business end, and we've got the pulley way up in the air there. Now go around the back side if there's enough light. It's going to be a little interesting. Just have to sit on the washing machine. There we go. You can see where we took a piece of angle iron and screwed it to the beam. Sorry if it's a little shaky. We screwed it to the beam right here. This is the exterior skin. So this piece of 3/16 inch angle iron is screwed to this beam, and then that's where it gives us the third bolt to hold it on. But as you can see, these bolts come all the way through that 2-inch, the beam that looks just like that one right there, that's hiding behind here. This one got really close to the bracket for the door. The other ones came out really nice. It goes right through that 2-inch beam, right through the exterior skin, through the 2-inch beam, through this board, and then to here. And it's like that. You can see, with a little light, you can see a little bit of the angle iron right there, and then the 2 bolts. So there is no way this puppy's gonna come loose on us. I was a little bit concerned that it might rock back and forth in the wind, but nope, I don't think so. And you can see on the other side of the trailer, as soon as the sun stops freaking out the camera, we're going to that tree right there, and that's the next step. Now we're here at the other end. I'm just showing you how we did this. The pulley looks funny because it's sideways right now. And you can see this big line, rope if you will, nestled onto that big giant aluminum nail. And that's just to keep it from sliding down the tree. And you can see our cable right now is half on. We've got one half done. You can see it right here. And we've wrapped the cable around. And now we've put it through the bale. We'll bring it back on itself, and then we'll take a few minutes to get it situated as high as we can get it. Because, let's see if we can show you this. On the other side of the trailer down there is where it's put in. And once it's tight, we want it to be as high up as we can, because that trailer has to go back and forth. So right now the pulley at this end, at the end far away from us, is down at its lowest level. We're hoping, if we do this right, that when we finish doing the end we're working on now, and then we lift this to its highest point, we won't have any fouling of that trailer, because that trailer has to go there every once in a while to for loading and unloading. I don't want to keep it that way. So for right now, we're going to go ahead and square this all away, and you can see how high the nail is compared to the pulley. We're going to try and get it up a little bit higher, but that's 89 feet right there, close to 90 feet one way. So cable's kind of heavy, but we'll take a few minutes, we'll get it squared away, and we'll bring you back. We're up in the tree here, and you can see I've got, I forget what these are called, cable ties, cable locks, whatever they are, I just can't remember. And then the bitter end of here is just hanging. We'll cut that later. And now I've threaded the cable through, up and through. Make sure you get them inside the little eyelets provided. I think you can see that there. Weird angle. Anyway, point being, make sure you get those. And the other thing I wish I had done for video purposes was I turned it the other way so you could read Skyline. Hey, well, hey, let's try the magic. Skyline. I do want to give these guys kudos, because this is going really well. All right, now that I've got the bitter end shoved through here, fed through, I should say, and you can see Scooterette down there at the other end, we'll go ahead and get it all put together, and we'll show you another kind of neat feature of this system. Okay, if it'll focus, what we have here is the ratchet system. It's already comes from the factory, swaged onto, in our case, it's 200 feet of line. Goes out that way, around the outer pulley. Here it is up here, around this pulley, and then, you know, basically it's a come along. Let's see if I can do this by hand so you can see it. Right there you can put a wrench, but I'm doing this with my hands. Let me see. I might be able to do this with my hands. If I can keep my fingers out of the lens. There you go. You can see the spring on top. And you can just go and tighten as much as you need. Alright, now that we've got it ratcheted, let's take a look down the other end. Don't make the mistake I did. Make sure you put your line spacers on there first. And as you can see, I actually messed up. This one here should have been at the other end. So I'm going to take it apart and redo it, and we'll show you how those work. And she's just going to lower it down. And having it down low like that allows even the most vertically challenged. Our little girl here is about 5'5". Alright, once she's got some clothes on there, she's going to go ahead and put on one of the spacers. She takes that out of the trap and she'll clip it on. And what these do is they keep the lines together when you have a heavy load of clothes. This is a really neat feature of this clothesline set. A little close together there, babe. Back it off just a tad. There you go. And yeah, we're both learning how to use this. Now she's got the spacer clipped on, and it'll just go right out with the clothes. And that's going to help, like I said, keep the two lines together. So the top line not only is the return line, but it's also taking up just as much of the weight of the clothes. Now, especially this one at the Toadstead is close to 90 feet long. So we have a total of 3 of them. One is already on the end. It stays permanently where the two ends of the line come together in the continuous line. And then there's 2 of them docked in that little feature. Hey, baby, why don't you go ahead and point to the dock? See it right up there? That piece keeps them trapped until you need them. So we'll let her go ahead and get this squared away. And now that she's done with this bit of laundry, she'll go ahead and hook on the next spacer, releasing it from its little trap there. And she'll run it out a bit because we want to get all the clothes in the sun. And now that all the clothes are in the sun, she'll use the line to go ahead and raise it up all the way to the top. And we'll get you a different angle so you can see the difference there. All right, we're here at the other end, and you can graphically see in this video how the spacer pulleys help distribute the weight. Now, it looks like we could tighten this up a little bit more, and we probably will. Keep in mind, this has only been up for, maybe a week or so, and yes, metal does stretch. So we're going to play with that, but that little bit of clothes right there, the whole thing is only sagging about a foot, and it would be sagging a whole lot more if that were a single line. But we want to be able to show you the difference between the 2 positions. That's with the pulley all the way up. Now she's going to lower it down. Now keep in mind, she's only about 5'4", 5'5", and see how that brings it right into where even she can reach it comfortably. Now I'm 6'1", I wouldn't have to lower it that much to do it. But this is one of the greater things about this system, is that even the smallest people, children and whatnot, can go ahead and load it up and then bring it all the way up, which not only allows you to put sheets and blankets, in our case sleeping bags and whatnot, but if you'll notice the way we have this one placed is right along that barbed wire fence, and being able to raise it up like that keeps the clothes that flap in a southerly breeze from tangling in that barbed wire. And of course it also allows that trailer, for the most part, to stay parked over on the side right where she's standing. Oh, there you go. We'll give you a quick look at the whole thing. There's the large wheel. Bottom line, we love this system. And we'll make sure to put the company's website down in the description box. Pros, many. I get the feeling we're going to use this system not only for clothes, but to hang things that we have to spray paint, things we have to varnish. We do a lot of small parts here, and we do have to do finishing on small parts, and I think this is going to make an outstanding drying rack for that. So that'll be coming in the future. The only cons, I think I mentioned earlier in the video, not a big fan of the polypropylene line for raising and lowering the pulley, but that's really nitpicky. And we're going to wait and see what the South Mississippi sun does to the pulleys. Other than that, this is highly recommended, and we're certainly looking into getting at least one other system to actually put in the shop for hanging stuff. So there you go. We'll put all the information below. have some fun with it. Oh, somebody's going to ask me how easy was it to put up. Stupid easy. Even with our, well, you might call it unique situation where not only did we have to do some modifications to mount it to the building, but we had to do the line wrap around the tree. You know, these things are designed to be screwed into the side of a barn or a building at the business end there, and designed to be put to a post or something like that at the end we're at. If we were under those conditions, which are far more common, this would have been, you know, not just a few hour job. I can't think of an easier system than this. And if you like line dried clothes as much as we do, and you're also, you know, major cheapskates like we are, this requires no electricity, or, you know, it takes the dryer out of the equation. We think this is going to work for us. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time around.